Welcome back to Goliath. We're here talking about our AI summer activities and some of the examples that my coworker Mike built. Hey Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Chris?
Good, good. I'm excited to see this example. I know a little bit about TensorFlow Lite, but I think you're going to show us a demo here on how to actually get it onto a edge device running with a microcontroller.
Yeah, so one of the things that we hear a lot of people that are looking to do AI on the edge or like IoT with machine learning is, how do I get a new learning model out to my device? So basically the way that these work is you have some server in the cloud that has a bunch of horsepower that takes maybe like thousands of samples of whatever you're trying to learn from, and it crunches through a training for those, and you end up with a learning model that you can run on the microcontroller itself. And the thing is, once you have 1,000 of those out in the field and you have a new learning model, how do you get that out to the end device? And so Goliath is great for that. We put together a example, like you said, as part of our AI summer, and I'd like to just jump into the demo of that if that works for you.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, you can follow along with this. This is public over on our GitHub. This one's just called Example TensorFlow Model Update. It's running on this device that I have here. So this is a M5 Stack Core S3, but there isn't really anything special about the hardware other than it's all in one package. You can just buy it. It really is, for this example, just an ESP32 S3, an I2S microphone for audio input, and an SD card. And what it's going to do is it's going to recognize some words that I say. But for the example, we're going to kind of pretend that we're provisioning this coming off of the manufacturing line. And so this is going to start with no model on it at all, and we'll show you updating that. So let's go and take a look at this device by using a monitor session to create a serial connection to it. And the first thing it's going to tell you is that it doesn't have any credentials in it. So let's go ahead and go over to the Goliath web console and make a new device. And here we have the Aqua Sacred Alligator, which is a good name. I love the automatic namings. And we're going to go ahead and grab the credentials. We are using PSK and PSK ID. You can think of it as username and password. If you're at production, you're probably going to want to use certificate authentication instead, which is just a little bit more secure. And this is PSK ID. There we go, and we'll do it again for the PSK, which is like the password part of it. All right, and we should see that we're going to immediately connect to Goliath. However, it will tell you that it's awaiting for version information from the server. That's because we didn't put a model on this. Like if you had a device just coming off of the assembly line, you wouldn't have to assign a model to it. We can send that over the net afterward. And we use the over-the-air update system of Goliath for that. So you can think of these learning models as just a binary file. The nice thing is this is separate from your firmware. So you don't have to do like a full firmware update to do this. You can do that. You can do a multi-artifact update. But I'm going to upload the training model. I'm going to give it a package name of model, which is what this firmware is looking for. You can, of course, pick that package name to match whatever you want. And I have two models that are stored in the repository here. One of them recognizes the word yes and no, so we're going to start with that model. And one of the nice things about not doing a full firmware update is you can see the model here is 18.8 kilobytes, but the firmware itself is 948 kilobytes. So you get a lot of savings both on network cost and like battery time if you have a radio turned on.
Speed to actual integration as well. That's also nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that I have the artifact stored on Goliath, I can create a release, which allows you to like target what you want to send to which devices. In this case, I'm sending just this model. I could, like I said, I could add the firmware version to it, but I don't need that right now. And I'm going to click the rollout button so it's immediately available to the device. And we'll see that it immediately sees this model 1.0.0. It's downloaded it to the SD card, which incidentally is super handy for doing troubleshooting because you can just pop that out and connect it to computer. And now it's listening to me talk and it doesn't know what I'm saying because it only knows a couple words. So if I say yes, yes, no, no, yes, yes, it's of limited use. But the things, it does not have the word stop, 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 go. It does not recognize those words because they're not trained in there yet. So I actually did do a training for this device, and I'm going to upload that the same way. So I'll go back to my artifacts and change my package to model. Pick my version number here, which I'm just going to call 2.0 because that's easy. And now this one, yes, no, stop and go, is trained into this. And we'll upload that. Now it's stored on Golioth. And you can see that one's a little bit larger, 27K, to get those extra words in there, but still a pretty small download, all things considered. I'm going to pick that model and roll it out immediately. And again, we should see the device pick it up immediately. And I have this set so that it will go ahead and reboot the device in order to clear out the TensorFlow pipeline and then start again. And we should get yes, yes, stop, stop, oh no, stop, stop, go. So this model that I trained is only about 80% accurate, and if it sees something less than 80%, I don't even print it out. So it's a little bit rough around the edges, but the general idea is still there. So if you are doing anything that has some kind of binary model that needs to be pushed to a device, this is going to be great for you. The other thing,
when
Chris,
you say training, you mean that you are taking audio. So when you say training, you mean you're taking audio that you are recording of yourself versus kind of these broader data sets, and that kind of contributes to the less accurate version of it?
Yeah, so this is based on TensorFlow Lite's micro speech example, and I think it has something like 1,000 examples of the words yes and no in waveform that it crunches through in its training algorithm and then like makes this model. So one of the things that you could do, if you go back and look at some of the videos we've done on Golioth Pipelines, that allows you to stream data back up to the cloud. So you could have your end devices recording different sensor outputs or whatever it is your machine learning is working on, and then collect those all in the cloud, and then periodically retrain the set and push it back down to your edge devices. Yeah. Which again, kind of like this finishing the circle of AI on the edge, the ability to both get data back from it and to benefit by uploading newly trained sets, I think is important to a lot of customers.
Yeah, no, that's really, really cool to be able to use your own data to retrain. It seems like that's a common use case when you're doing these kind of AI at the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this was a really fun one to put together. We have some more coming with like dealing with cameras and audio and some other stuff that we'll be doing examples on. However, if you don't want to wait for those videos, I suggest you go to the Golioth page on GitHub and just look through our repositories for the word example. We've got a bunch of them from the AI summer in there. And it's worth mentioning the Golioth is free for individual use. So if you want to go and stand up a little fleet today just to kind of test it out and see how it's working, included with that is 1 gigabyte of OTA data per month. So if you're doing 27K at a time with these models, you're not going to get anywhere close to that. And it'll let you proof out your concept, maybe convince your shareholders or show your boss, and kind of supercharge your ability to push machine learning and other ideas down to those edge devices.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see these other examples. We're going to record more, like you said, in the future, and people can go check it out on the GitHub page right now. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Chris. We'll see you on the next one.